Talk. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Today I have myself, Captain Goop, and we have our wonderful, as always, last minute dragging him in, Mr. Lieutenant Roberts. So thank you again for joining me last minute.
Oh no, it's 2:00. Hey, Roberts, get over here. Hey, sir.
It was, kind of how it was today. I got pulled into what I was doing, and then I looked down at the clock and I went, ooh, gotta go.
Gotta go by.
Roberts, we talked earlier, let's go. And your face was priceless too.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I had no idea what he was referring to, and then I went back to what I was doing. Then I thought about it and looked at the clock. I was like, "Oh, Voss is leaving. It's 2:00. It's Friday."
Oh, that's
we
right.
agreed.
So, thanks for joining me again. Wasn't necessarily last minute. I think, and we did talk about it yesterday. I think.
Yeah.
But it always felt like last minute for sure.
100%.
Did the same thing to me though. So thanks for joining us today, guys. We appreciate it. Brian, I see you in there. Dylan, thanks for joining. Hope you're having a good day. It's been a warm day for sure. So remember when you guys are out there in the field, you're drinking lots of water and you guys are drinking Gatorade stuff, keeping hydrated because that is absolutely important in these warm weathers.
Get in the shade if you can.
Absolutely. So today we wanted to talk a little bit about some tips to help you in your personal growth, but as well, it will also help you in your professional, in your career as well. We do, professional development, and we like to help you guys grow in every aspect that we can, professionally and personally, because you can't grow one without growing the other. You just can't. And that's always a fantastic thing to do, is to continue to grow, learn, become better. I was in electrical school, getting my stuff for that, and one of my instructors always told me, if you ever get to the point where you think you know everything, you should probably change careers. And he's right, because when you look at what you're doing for a living, everything is always evolving and changing. The rules or techniques and tools and things like that you have are always evolving and changing as the world goes forward. And so you're always going to be learning. There's always something you don't know, and it's never a bad idea. Actually, a fantastic idea to continue that knowledge growth and become the best at your industry that you can. Yes, Brian. Hydration.
Indeed.
So
it's key.
Keeping those things moving and learning that stuff and going back and getting re-educated. So say you already have a class on something, going back and getting re-educated on the new ways of the new ways of doing it. It's fantastic because you're, again, continuing that growth, and that growth personally will help you personally because it will help keep your brain active. It will help memory retention and some other things that go along with it, but will also absolutely help your career as well. So we just want to go over a few tips, and these tips are from our fantastic Chief Leon, because he's
phenomenal. Really.
When he's absolutely phenomenal. When it comes to keeping up with growth and stuff, I have never found anybody who is more honest and anybody who is more up on what it takes to grow personally and professionally than that man right there. He's one of the reasons that I continue to try and learn and grow and be better than I was yesterday.
I can hear him blushing.
He's probably hating on me right now because I'm doing this.
I was I walked into their office a couple of times this week, and he's got his readers on and he's sifting through flashcards, and he's got these big books of just text after text, just complete knowledge he's shoving into his brain. And I think I offered at one point, I was like, hey, if you ever need someone to just take a couple flashcards and quiz you, and he's like, yeah. As he continues, it's like, well, it was an offer.
But I mean, that's the thing, is you got to look at it. That man has been in this industry basically his entire career
and still learning.
And he's still learning. He's still growing. He's still taking those courses and still doing
getting
that stuff.
Certificates.
Yeah.
And
there's never too much information. There's never enough learning when it comes to what we do. We offer CPR classes to our officers. If you guys are interested in that and you're one of our officers, reach out to us. Let us know. We'd be happy to get you set up in one of our CPR classes. We offer the AED extensions along with that as well for our officers, so you guys have that. But there are tons of other things, and some of the things that he's got on here were items I never would have thought of. For continuing that personal growth, which can go into professional. And so just keeping in mind that as long as you're continuing to grow, and he has it perfect in here, keeping your mind active, keeping that knowledge base growing, and that's going to be the best thing you can do for personal and professional. Dylan wants to know what helps is when you win a coupe bottle. Dylan, He wants to win one of my cups, the Coop Cups.
Oh, do you have giveaways?
We've had one. I'm thinking of doing another one when we hit 5K.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Spoilers. I haven't said anything about it because I've been thinking about it. Brian, I got to get with you about that, by the way. Don't let me forget, Brian. I know you're watching. Thank you, sir. But yeah, so let's go over a couple of these items here that Chief Leon was so graciously nice enough to give me on these because, like I said, he's probably the best person I can think of when it comes to that type of personal and professional growth. One of the things here kind of gets up, it kind of gives me like get in a rhythm, and that's something that Captain Voss has told me in the past that he did, and it helped him out a lot. It was getting into a rhythm. Wake up early, get a head start on your day. It includes, for like us, that's for us in management where we do a lot of our stuff is computer-based and scheduling. Get an early start on your shift work, get an early start on making sure you read your emails and stuff. When it comes to, officers in the field, to me that trying to translates as it's what Voss does every morning, and Chief Leon is working out. Do a short run. You don't have, make a goal of getting 10,000 steps in a day and making sure you do some exercise and doing some push-ups in the morning, getting your body active and working on that. That activity will wake you up. It will start getting your brain moving in the forward in the morning, and it will help make your day better. Getting up, and he says getting up before others on what you do. So if you me personally, to me, I read that as like in the mornings I've started doing a short walk from where my apartment is down the block, which is, I don't know, quarter mile one way. So I do a half mile in the morning, which I don't like doing. Still don't like doing.
I can't imagine waking up and just walking.
It takes me about 20 minutes. Yeah. And then and it's legit. It's just up, down, and down the block a little bit and then back down. And that's all it is. It's just to get my body moving. I started doing that about 4 days ago, and I regret it every morning. Leon is a champion, and he runs every morning, and it's awful. I couldn't do it. I couldn't run every morning. No. The half mile I'm starting to do is just awful for me. I don't like it anymore. And like Saturdays is supposedly my rest day. I've started every Saturday. I actually walk down to the donut shop, so I cheat. Absolutely. Little
motivation.
Yeah. I walk down to the donut shop, and that's about a mile. I walk down to that, grab a donut, and then I walk back. And I'm not running. I'm not doing it because I have a hard time running. Bad knees and stuff like that. And I have things you can do to make that better with supplements and things like that. But wraps. I don't enjoy running. So I just get my exercise in that way. I walk down to the donut shop, grab a donut as a reward, walk back, and then I eat it.
It was a lot easier. I think it was a couple weeks ago. Captain Coop and I walked around the pond behind the buildings. How many times? 7, 8?
By the time 9, I think is what it was by the time we were done.
And time was flying. It was a good source of exercise. Yeah. I don't do a lot of walking. I don't do a lot of running anymore. And my calves were killing me after 9 laps around the pond that took a good 2 hours, but it felt like maybe 30 minutes.
And the funny part about that is you had originally had intention to walk around like 4 laps with me. Yep. And we just kept walking and walking. And next thing I know, you were like, you look down at your phone and you're like, oh, I got to get home. My wife was expecting me an hour and a half ago.
Yep.
And I was like, you got time for one more? And he goes, sure.
I hope my wife never watches these. I'm pretty sure she sent me a text saying, hey, when are you getting home? I'm getting sick of this child. And I said, yeah, I'll be leaving soon. And then we finished our lap, and you said, you want to go for one more? And I went, yeah, why not? I don't want to deal with a child either.
It's and it's funny. It's a little thing like that, a little bit of exercise, how it helps up, and I felt great by the end of it. We were done, and again, it's not like we were doing extraneous, running or anything like that. It was just a brisk walk. It was a little faster paced than normal.
Yep.
And by the end of it, I feel great. I feel a little bit more of an energy boost to finish off my day when I get home and to do some chores that I really don't want to do. You know, and it just, I feel better about it. You know, makes me feel good.
Yeah, it felt really good to get out in the sun.
Yeah.
Especially after a full day sitting in the office staring at a screen. It felt really good to get out in the sun.
Absolutely. One of the things that I started doing, and this was off a recommendation of a friend, I have started reading a minimum of 30 minutes a day, and I'm using a book that was recommended to me by him as well, called The Daily Stoic. Fantastic book. It's only designed to be read one page at a time, but I read more than that. I read about 6 pages, 6 to 10, depending on time constraints and stuff like that. During the day, it's very hard for me because I'm very busy. You know, everyone knows that. So I'm starting to transition my reading to my afternoon when I get home. And again, it's not about it's about the content. You know, I'm reading something that I've never I've never read before.
Never written?
I wanted to say readed.
I don't know.
I've never read before. And so it's information. It's good knowledge. You know, it's cool. It's kind of cool to see where that information is and how it applies to me or how I can apply myself to it and stuff like that. And so reading something like that, and it's, you know, not a fantasy book. If you want to read a fantasy book, fantastic. That's great for you. I could never get into them. I tried reading Harry Potter's and a bunch of other fantasy books. Tom Clancy was my last one that I read, and I just couldn't get into them. So books like that are so far turning out to be a little bit better for me because I don't know, it's something that I can apply to myself, or I can look at where it has similarities to me.
Fair enough. I never did a bunch of reading as a kid. I always had a slower reading pace than most of the people in my class. I just didn't care for it. In my later high school years, I read a lot of fantasy novels, and when I was actually into what I was reading, I'd fly through it.
Yeah.
And once I got to college and I got back to the textbooks, I just
See, that was the thing
caring.
is in college, I read a ton of textbooks. It was textbooks for days. I was doing electrical, and then I went into electrical engineering, started it, and textbooks. I mean, dude, textbooks upon textbooks upon textbooks upon, and it was horrific. It was great. It was knowledge I didn't have, and it was, you know, keeping the mind active. But man, technical textbooks just, it was
draining.
Very.
Yeah.
I could never go back to reading technical textbooks again.
What I did is I would find a text-to-speech, and I would play it on like 1.25 speed, and I would just sit there and just stare at the ceiling listening to it, and then something important would pop up. I'd write a couple notes, and that's how I would get through the textbooks. Because if I just sat there and tried to read it, I'd get through maybe 2 pages and go,
what was that first page?
Yeah. I was, well, what did I just read again? Great. Got to start over this page again. 3rd time. Thanks, brain.
So, little things like that. Any book that does well for your mental well-being is the way it's listed, is the way it was listed to me, and I love that. You know, like I said, it doesn't have to be any book in particular. It's the one so far that I've chosen as something for my mental well-being, which was The Daily Stoic, and it's fantastic. I love it. I honestly wouldn't want to start reading it again with any other book. So, but other than that, there's some other things you can do as well. Going with that continuing knowledge base, re-enrolling in some basic university classes, and it's just keeping your mind active. Growing that knowledge base. Again, going back to that one because that's a big one. You know, you always learn. As long as you're learning, you're growing, and that's the big thing there. Something Voss has heavily gotten mad at me for is being more active and actually working out.
He's gotten on to you about it a couple times.
More than a couple. And he goes, dude, he goes, I don't like it. Just do some
push-ups.
Yeah, he goes, it was funny. I was like, dude, I don't have the motivation to sit there and go to the gym for 45 minutes to an hour like some people. And he looks at me and he goes, I don't either. He goes, well, none of us do. He goes, we just do it. And it gets to the point, he tells me, I don't know because I don't do it. He tells me it gets to a point where you're, you pass the point of habit and it becomes you need it. He goes, you have to do it. You wake up in the morning and you crave it. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever been to that point. Ever.
I've never been to that point, and I used to work out all the time for sports.
To me, it doesn't sound fun in any way, shape, or form. But I mean, like I said, from what he tells me, it's the same for him. You know, he goes, it's not that I enjoy doing it. He says, he does now. He does it so much and he did it so often. But he goes, for the first forever when I started, he goes, I didn't enjoy any of it. He goes, but I needed it. I needed to do it. And I knew that. So I just did it.
Well, it's a really good stress reliever. It's a really good source of natural dopamine. Your body's lifting all those weights, or your body's getting that sweat out, detoxing. It's a really good way to start your day if you can get the motivation to do it.
I just don't think, for those who do it in the morning, who now work out, and they work out in the morning and do that stuff, I just don't know how you guys do it. I couldn't wake up. I mean, I wake up early as it is, just because that's natural for me. It's what I've always done. But I have the motivation to get up, get started, get the basics done that I need to get done before I leave the house. You know, make my bed, make sure all of that stuff's taken care of. The house is in order before I leave. I gotta take the trash out. I do all that stuff. That's stuff that I've done forever and ever and ever. But I just couldn't find the motivation to do a workout in the morning. I'm just too tired.
The best motivation that I've found for hitting the gym is to have a partner. When I played lacrosse in college, I would wake up at 5 a.m. for a 2-hour practice, and then from 7 to 8, we would hit the weights, and then I'd have class at 8 a.m. Horrible. As soon as I started, I stopped playing, and I just went to go to the gym in the morning. I couldn't keep up with it. As soon as my roommate showed even the remote interest in it, and he wanted to go with me, and I was able to show him, the movements, the exercises. I enjoyed it, and I wanted to go.
See, and that's the thing with me is, because I don't work out on a regular basis, and I never used to. When I was in high school, I did things for like JROTC and stuff. We had a exercise program at the end of the day that we did, but it wasn't weightlifting or anything like that. I don't know the proper form of doing that stuff, and so I'd be afraid I'd be setting bad habits or working the muscles out incorrectly, or putting something in a stressful position. Because I know that there's a specific way you got to lift the weights, or you got to do it in a specific stance, and I don't know that. And so my fear is I'd do something and I'd be putting myself in a dangerous spot. And I know that's probably just my fear I have, and it's not a true thing. And there's less risk of it, but it's just where my mindset goes on that.
To an extent, if you're picking up a lot of weight and you're just jumping into it, yes, you can absolutely hurt yourself. If you've got light weight and you're just doing body weight exercises, proper technique will get you the most benefit. But as long as you're moving, as long as you're doing it, it's better than being sedentary and on a couch.
So what you're saying is the same thing Voss told me, is I just need to do it.
Just do some push-ups.
When did you turn into Voss? What did this?
I've been listening to him a little too much. I'm really hoping that he's not watching this right now.
He doesn't watch this.
Good.
At least not that I know of.
Good.
Voss, if you're here, you got to say something. Or if you watch this on Monday, you got to rub it in our faces for being right.
Well, I won't be here, so
that's fair. Mister, I'm going on vacation.
Heck yeah. It's been a while.
Going on vacation to Florida, right?
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Yeah, it's been 3.5 years since I've actually relaxed since my honeymoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been a long time coming, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it.
Is this with or without kids?
With kids, but my extended family on my side is coming down, so I get to just pawn my daughter off to to her grandparents, my parents, and say, I'm going to the beach.
She's your responsibility for the next 8 hours.
Nope. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Don't call.
Don't call.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad you're going to get to some time to relax and enjoy yourself.
It's been a long time coming.
Yes. But other than that, when it comes to the growth stuff, guys, it's the biggest thing you got to remember. Got a little off topic there. Vacation came to mind. The biggest thing you got to remember is, as long as you're growing, you're learning, and you're keeping that growth forward, that's what you want. You want to keep your brain active, and you want to keep growing and being better. Every day, a little bit better than the day before. Just take those little steps, and that's what you want to do. And again, for those of you who are employees of ours and you don't have CPR certification or AED or anything like that, and you're interested, reach out, let us know. We'll let the on-duty lieutenant phone, give them a call and let them know. They'll get you in contact with who you need to talk to about that, and they'll get you guys set up for that. We offer that class to you guys so you can, again, continue to grow and learn, because that's what we want. We want that growth. We want you guys to keep learning and being better. There are classes, colleges do provide classes related to the security field, and then there are also outside agencies as well you can go to. And again, taking some of those and learning and continuing that growth, that's what you're looking for. So just remember that when you're thinking about personal growth and professional growth. Just keep that brain active, keep learning new things, read books that are for your mental well-being, and start that process, because there's never too late of a time to learn, and you never know everything. As long as you're continuing to learn and grow, you're doing good.
Something very small I did while I was working some of the incredibly dull posts where I'm just sitting in my vehicle in the middle of a lot watching a bunch of empty cars, is I picked up chess. I downloaded a chess app, and then I would just sit there and learn chess and just got my brain going, because my body was faltering because of the lack of movement. So I had to keep my brain going.
It's crazy to me to think how in tune your brain is with your body.
Yep.
That if one stops, if one of them isn't active, the other one just absolutely deteriorates. It's crazy to me to think how in tune those two things are. So as long as you're doing that, and you're doing something that's learning, or something that's growing your brain, and you're keeping that growth going forward, how well it will translate from one to the other. Yep. It's crazy to me. I've noticed it with friends who are much better with working out than I am. They'll change their physical form, and their mentality is just absolutely 100 times better, and vice versa. I have friends that are way smarter than me, and same thing. It follows almost in tune with each other. It's not an exact in tune.
There are exceptions,
but there are, but it's crazy to me how well those two go together.
Yep. I think I've never been much of a scholar in school until I started taking sports seriously and started taking my physical health seriously, and then that's when something just clicked. And now that you're connecting the two, I think that played a big role in a nice spike in my life where things just started falling into places when I started taking care of myself and putting motivation into one aspect of my life, and it just automatically transferred to the other.
Yep. Absolutely. So other than that, we're going to jump into the weather, and then we're going to let you guys get to enjoying your weekend. So what we're looking at for the weather for this weekend is we've had 89 degrees today. I think that's at a little lower than what it was earlier. I'm pretty sure it was in the mid-90s earlier.
Probably.
Saturday, we're looking at 90 degrees, partly cloudy. Sunday is 92, partly cloudy. It's going to be a good weekend to mow, get a little sun, little cloud cover to keep you cool. Monday, we're looking at 93, mostly sunny. Tuesday's 91, partly cloudy. Wednesday is 86, same with Thursday, with some scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. 91 on Friday with some showers in the morning. 93 on Saturday and 93 on Sunday. So we'll see how long that lasts for the rest of the week, because Kansas, Missouri likes to change its weather pretty quickly on us. But other than that, guys, we're going to let you guys get back to enjoying your weekends and finishing out that. So, again, we appreciate everything you do. It allows us to continue to do stuff like this. It allows me to drag these guys on here and embarrass them and last minute, and even when it's long-term planned. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. I can't tell you how much we do. And remember, with it warming up, hydration is key. Hydration starts the day before, not the day of. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one.